support battle we have going on here. Will it end? Ench? Hey, gonna stick it up.
Dead.
Another right click,
Fairy.
and there's the fairy fire.
Gotcha. He had a fairy fire.
You knew that.
I only saw the stick.
You only knew that.
Yeah.
Good job.
Relax.
Horacio, already very low in this top lane. Little Centaur. Huerta combo.
This lane is extremely potent. So you put down the calling, it gives Centaur time to walk in and connect the stun double edge combination, and then if you line it up nicely, you might even proc the silence. And that's going to be a tough one for Gaming Gladiators. I think a lot of this is going to come down to whether Chen finds the right creep. And well, what do we got so far for good old Celery? He's got a Kobold Foreman. Wanted momentum. Here you go.
There you go. Okay. Nice. He's a Midas next.
Okay.
They stack.
The speed aura, not the gold.
Nice. That's the big brother of the gold man.
That is true.
The gold man doesn't really last too long. One day we'll get that buff. I mean, he's drinking that golden cup. He should be given some money as well.
Creep here. Accelerate. Harpy Stormcrafter.
That is that still the S tier creep?
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's one of them. There's a couple that you really want.
It isn't out.
This lane, I mean, usually you want an offensive creep to play together with Chaos Knight, but I'm actually not sure if they can play offensively. Falling is such an insane defensive spell against any or Chaos Knight wants to do. Maybe you have to harass. FY a decent amount with the Chain Lightning.
I have a question for you. Do you think Quinn has an obsession with Pangolier? It feels like it's all he plays after talking so much garbage about picking that freaking hero. He loves it. I mean, it keeps getting nerfed. Keeps seeing it over and over and over. How does it fare against the OD? Because this is a hero that we haven't really... I mean, we've seen Somnus play it. He's like... I don't know if he's the only one, but he has played it ridiculously well to the point where I'm not sure why it's not being picked by other teams.
I guess there's just not many players in this tournament that really feel comfortable on. The only other player that comes to mind that we saw play it was Kiyotaka, and that was hit or miss, to be honest. Somnus has been the only player that has been consistent on this, and I mean, we say that, it's been 2 games, right? It's not overwhelming, but yeah, the lane matchup itself should be good. OD kind of loses to absolutely no melee heroes in mid, I want to say. Pango should be pretty straightforward. But at the same time, in that pool of mid heroes, Pango is maybe one of the melee heroes that's dancing against chance. You can always disengage.
Is under attack.
The harassment buckle, you can get CS because you have spells that CS for you rather than just attack. But I expect Somnus to come out of this lane at
Chaos Bolt. Starting action there with up with Chalice, who's now completely out of mana. Start. See if he goes for... I mean, we're seeing a lot of 1-1-1 builds on the Centaur. Game that Zai went, he went, I think, 2 into the passive. Kind of had to jungle a bit. He just had a really rough game overall.
Yeah, this is going to be a much better laning stage for the Centaur than it was in that game, though. Okay, there we go.
Calling with
Healing Lotus.
Stomp. Yep, back into it. Can get stomped. Nope. Double edge is there. First blood goes the way of FY. That Chalice dies shortly after, so it is a trade, but Azure going to be very happy with that.
That trade isn't necessarily the absolute worst, because getting levels on Chen is really powerful. Getting a stronger creep and more creeps in lane will be helpful, and obviously, considering how this lane goes, if he has any sort of just regeneration item or any heal, or in this case a protective item such as the medallion, that is even hybrid, can also use it offensively if they see a kill opportunity, should probably make for a good laning experience. I don't really think this was a significant loss for Gaming Gliders because they traded. Horacio should be a bit more comfortable here knowing that Celery's got his back.
What would you say the reason that we haven't been seeing Underlord as this being an ace special? You see Deadshot back in the top lane.
Oh, that
to the hook on double edge. To follow Celery is just dead.
That was...
Along with the Harpy.
I want to say that was within 10 range of missing that hook stone. That was super close counts. Well done. Underlord... I mean, the hero is kind of strange in the sense that it's very one-dimensional, right? You're very slow, you only play a specific kind of fights well, you have some very bad lane matchups. In this case, you feel confident picking it because you know the Naga will be carry. But some of the other carries that we've seen in this tournament, such as sometimes like Monkey King will be this standout one, makes your game miserable, and this hero just flat out is not good if it loses. But in this matchup, you feel safe in this case. I think it's a great time to get a Vanguard very soon. get toward those Boros.
For it again, yep, the calling with the hoof stomp double edge. Good silence, but Jirachi will be able to walk away. You can see Chalice going for the kill build. It's a 2-2-0, in fact. Not exactly the best scaling spell, but a little extra stun action. Be valuable for them to continue to get killed in this, and at least try to. But Jirachi, of course, has that built-in healing mechanic with Chaos Strike. Heal up a decent amount. See,
this is an important load
Ace is
here.
in a lot of trouble, getting chased by Lu and Ench, trying to deny himself onto the creep, but not going to happen. Another kill goes away of Azure Ray.
Healing load of top went to Chalice, which is very important here. You've mentioned how he's been running out of mana. Keeps getting the Lotus every 3 minutes. That's an additional stun that can offset that problem in the lane. Yeah. Will lay into him a little bit here, but here comes the arcane boots as well.
Indeed, hook stomp double edge with inside the calling as well. Jirachi just tries to man fight his way out of this into the double edge though. Chalice will actually get the kill and live, and now Somnus with the Astral setting up another kill onto Celery. So the Ogre had something to say about that, but Sandy's Eclipse is going to be more than enough to provide Azure Ray with yet another kill. 5-1. Early lead for them.
You know what we haven't had this whole tournament, Shan?
What's that?
Trivia time.
Oh, no.
What do you think the debuff that you get after you get OD ulti this point?
Oh, I know. Okay, this... Oh. Really stupid. Mana something. Mana something.
Mana allergy.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Imagine being allergic to mana. That would be very annoying.
That should be an AM spell name. Maybe for another lifetime.
What's an AM?
It's a hero.
Oh, I haven't really.
Yeah, we haven't seen it.
I almost forgot he exists.
I think he was somewhat popular 6 months ago, and then people realized that he's very boring to watch, so he was nerfed. And then
surely that's what happened.
As long as he's not playing at TI, it's fine, right? That's the balance. See the swash from Quinn. You see, in terms of farm, Somnus just a little bit ahead. Obviously, part of that is that gank top. Quinn has yet to leave the lane. Rolling under quite yet.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Vader creep for the old Ench. And we'll see if Somnus ends up going for the same relative.
He's in trouble.
Quinn rolling thunder. With the OD to start. Doesn't want to put him on the clip though. Has to be a bit careful. Astro going to keep him alive a little bit, but he is completely surrounded, and Somnus does die. Quinn getting a very valuable kill here. Hurricane onto the Ench as well. Surrounded by creeps. Do they have a stun? No. Be away safely, but still mid lane down. Gaming Gladiators pull away with a slight gold lead.
Yeah, that is a very good kill for them to get. Obviously, Somnus was starting to have not an outstanding game, but OD is the kind of hero that you want to kill a couple of times if possible, so just slowing it down. The hero sometimes falls victim to kind of chain feeding, where in order to cast your spells and deal damage, you need to be in there, and if you don't have the items to sustain yourself against this kind of ball line, you can be in trouble. Okay, that was not expected. But I guess at the same time, right? He was left alone because Chen went mid, so
Gaming can get something out of this. Swash is going to miss. This is all for a position 5 Ench right now. Don't get it. Obviously, like we talked about, it does cost them their CK in the top lane. Now, Somnus was kind of disappointed to see that here. He wasn't even in range for XP. He's like, all right, I guess I'll help push, because OD is very good at hitting towers, as you can see. Yeah. He's going to lose his mid lane in the process. All these kids himself. Quinn wants to fight, apparently.
Oh, miscommunication there.
Yeah, Hookstone not going to connect that to the Astral. He doesn't want to pursue any further. Looks like that might break things up. Still no passive for Chalice, no retaliate. Yeah, we're going for that kill build.
It's going to slow down his farming a little bit if this becomes a little bit more stale and you need to hit some jungle, not having any points to retaliate. Level 3, double edge. If you're stacking jungle, you can't just spam this with a Vanguard. The Seeds of Serenity offset it quite well though, so perhaps he's going to be okay, but yeah, a lot of the time we see Centaurs go to something like 1-4, so they can keep farming essentially for free all around the map. You can't really question how much it paid off top, right? Yep. Ratio was shut down quite effectively. 3 deaths on the Chaos Knight so far.
Dyer's middle
the lowest net worth par, aside from the OD of Somnus, who arguably maybe rotated a little bit too much. He moved top twice, like you pointed out. The second time he got nothing out of it except some tower damage. The first time he was also maybe a little bit late to the party, so...
Ratio refuses to give up this tower. You see the calling come in. Along with the ult from FY, already level 6. Trying to apply some pressure to Zeracho. Quinn, he feeds in with that rolling thunder, looking for Chalice. Looks like that's going to be an easy cleanup for Gaiman. So good rotation overall. Meanwhile, hit a Malice from Ace, but he's surrounded by enemies. Trying to go through his Fiendscape, but it's not going to happen. He will die. Meanwhile, fights continued in that top lane as Quinn will secure a double kill.
Honestly, they were not even close to killing.
Get that courage.
That was when they went for CK there. I think they only got into about a third. So overestimating how much damage they had in the tank there were Azure, and that punish from Gaiman hurts twice as hard when you also lose the tower. So I feel like we've seen this type of game from Gaiman a lot of times this year. I feel like I'm watching a replay of half their games. Which means, by extension, Azure cannot be surprised. Like, this is Gaiman's best strategy, you could say, like this archetype of strategy that they're running here. And something that we've had the panel talk about in the past as well. Gaming Gladiators isn't exactly a team that comes out with some really big, surprising picks that much, right? You could say Underlord isn't picked that much, but the style...
On it to Lou. Lou, no song to work with. Turn to the little piggy. FY trying to help as much as he can. Looks like that's enough distance for the Naga to get away. Might cost them their edge, and it will. A good sacrifice for Azure could have been a lot worse.
That's the thing about Gaiman, though, is that you're watching the strategy and like this. You could have shown me this draft, and I would have guessed it was their team, right? You just blindly show me this draft.
Well,
who played
Pango, and you know already, right?
No, who played this at TI? You'd be like, that's Gaming Gladiators. But the fact of the matter is, you know they're going to run it. They're going to keep running it until they lose, and that hasn't really been the case.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They're not slaves to the meta.
Nope. They're doing what they want. They're doing what they're good at. And if you're not good enough to beat it, they're going to keep doing it.
That's why we found ourselves in this elimination match. Lower bracket of TI. Winner of this, here's top 3. Face off against LGD tomorrow. Quinn now with the illusion rune. So
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
shortly regardless. Lou be working on Manta. No big crazy items. No switch ups from the Naga. It feels like one of the most cookie cutter heroes in the game in terms of just itemization. Maybe a Bloodthorn 4th item. That's the
bottom
switch up.
tower has fallen.
Centaur, on the other hand, you just get HP, so they're very exciting.
Dire's middle
He's going to go for
tower
pipe
is
this game.
under attack.
Do you think he's going to have to go for a blink a little bit earlier than that, or do you think it's a bit slower?
It's kind of awkward, right? Because if you go dagger first and you jump in and you catch a stun, it's nice, but the counterplay potential from Gaiman is just extremely powerful, and you might not be able to overpower them anyway when Chen shows up with Hand of God and some good creeps and Underlord.
Quinn with the rolling thunder, that's a kill! Okay, that was extremely casual. He just walked up and slapped him in the face.
Yep.
Refusal now online for Quinn.
Unexpected.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's
I don't
bottom
know how that
tower is under
was so
attack.
easy. It's kind of strange that there wasn't any protection there and that he just got caught, but that's going to cost him the 2-2 tower by the looks of it. Maybe they're going to try to defend. All right, Samus is here. Damage.
Nice ace. That's a lot of damage being applied. So much pure damage. Sandy just puts the follow. Looks like that's going to be the death of the Underlord. Samus now finding himself next to Quinn as well. It's going to be a trade, though. Samus will fall. Accelerate trying to run away from Chalice and company, but that's not going to happen. So a 2-for-1. The edge looks like he will live. Zoo not able to fully commit any further.
Alright, that was a very good defensive rotation from Azure. I thought they were going to lose the tower there, but quick response. They're not letting Gaiman run the map as they want. And that kind of has to be the attitude you need to have against this type of lineup, is you need to fight for your ground, right? If you give up even 10 or 20% more of the map, you're just going to get starved out and end up losing on gold. So fighting for every tower, protecting your areas is the name of the game here. Why for the silence? Yeah. Close to Atos here, FY. Gives them some extra options. It helps the Centaur not by dagger by quite a lot that the Muerta is going to be able to set him up instead. And they really want that pipe for the sustain. They need to be able to outlast the Pangolier. They need to be able to outlast the Firestorm. As I mentioned before, buying dagger here isn't a gimme because you might not have enough damage to burst anyway, so maybe you're better off just having the durability in the fight.
I have to say, this is feeling like vintage Gaiman from earlier. I mean, talked about them obviously a lot since they've been winning a lot of tournaments, but the last couple months, I feel like they've dropped off a bit. They've had a bit of a roller coaster, if you want to call it that, but network on their side. Somnus, he gets the benefit thanks to the Stampede. Looks like that would be enough for him to get away as Ace comes in through the Fiend's Gate. Horsey action from Somnus. Oh, he's going to show himself again, though. Pit just dodge. Quinn now with the Rolling Thunder. Can he find them in the fog? Going to be close. Very close. Yes, he finds them. Shield crash down goes Somnus. Wow, that was really well played.
That was a game of hot and cold.
Radiant's top tower
got
is
him.
under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
That is death. Number 3 already for Somnus. I mean, how does this hero come back? Is this here you have to get Midas on eventually? Or?
That is kind of the down. Oh, hang on. That is a very...
Braccio. All right. That apparently was a centaur.
Yep.
Must be a little beefier than that, but that's
yeah,
a lot of
does a lot of
at the same time, trying to TP out in the midst of action. Looks like they'll get away.
Tower is under attack.
The game is still, I mean, even if they don't get the kill, they're forcing these guys out of their comfort zone, back to their base. You see that lead just slowly growing in game is their favor, well, their flavor as well, but their favor mostly.
I got myself some good flavor.
Delicious. Pangolier on the grill.
Okay. Yeah,
Enjoy or
wonderful. Yeah, so what does OD do to recover? This is kind of one of the problems of this hero is when it's doing poorly in the beginning, the recovery curve is quite steep, and you also didn't go Midas. So I think that is probably part of the reason that a lot of OD games that do get played end up buying Midas early, because you just, the risk-reward of bypassing it requires a very, very well-executed game. And just these couple of deaths on Somnus now,
Radiant's bottom tower
the
is
hero doesn't
under
farm
attack.
that fast. So if you don't have Midas,
There's 2 towers.
they're not catching up.
17 minutes. Rally skeleton.
Yep. Oh, that's
Something to fear.
we love the boys. A lot of the boys here.
Quite a few.
5-minute cooldown on the boys.
See why they stop now. They're going to force out the fortification at the very least. Azure, that's why will show up. There's the fort.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Tofu trying to protect his nether ward.
Dire's middle tower
Aspiration
is
left.
under attack.
Phantasm used by Dota2. They want to continue on here. Already half HP on this tier 3. Dolphin making his lead action coming. Okay. Try everything on edge. He gets the lead. Oh, he's still alive. The Astral keeps him just barely alive. In fact, he's going to be able to piggy away. The Stampede will help in that effect as well. The Fiend came from Ace to get deep into the base of Azure is already. They're knocking on the door. Roger getting healed from the silence from Tofu. They're going to have to do a lot more healing than that. They're going to be able to kill off the edge eventually, as Chalice is now going to die. And just like that, it's a 5 versus 3. There's the song from Lou, but can they combo this?
No.
And his Eclipse is not up, so their racks will end up falling at 18 and a half minutes. Gaming Gladiators playing way too fast for Azure Ray to handle. Another reality rift into this is going to be too much damage, but there. Just at the last moment, Somnus gets off the Astral, but it still will set up Quinn to come in and finish the job. And now Gaming Gladiators with a 10K lead, playing so fast.
And if you think back on the draft, the way this started was Gaming Gladiators picking the Chaos Knight, and Azure immediately responding with Naga as a proposed counter. The problem is Naga counters CK later on, but it doesn't counter the tempo. And the rest of the lineup that Azure has built for themselves here are not particularly good with handling this kind of pressure. So you're giving Gaming Gladiators their chin strat, and you're picking greedy heroes into it. Let's face it, Naga plus OD just is inherently greedy.
Right, this feels...
You're kind of asking for
It's
it.
not quite the same, but it feels like the noun suit with Gaming Gladiators. And then as Chalice is going to found out, gets off the hook stomp, but Quinn is there with the swatch. And the inhibit, as we all like to call it, Chalice will die in front of his tier 2 tower. Stampede, not even bothering to be used because he was dead to rights.
I don't know if Azure have enough damage. I think if Gaming Gladiators just group up and keep going, they're going to run down the lane. They've got Greaves, they've got Hand of God, they've got the Pugna life drain. What damage are you bringing to the table? OD has ulti on cooldown for another minute. Naga has 1 item. So Naga is not ready to fight. This hero doesn't fight properly until it has like 2 or 3 of them. And time's running out. So yeah, here we go.
Phantasm from Duraccio. Already half HP on the tier 3. Edge, okay. Astral keeps him alive. He dies shortly after. We've seen a lot. It feels like just a replay over and over as Lou. Maybe he's in a little trouble here. Quinn continuing on. He needs the Rolling Thunder. They do not have Song. There's the Astral again. The combo. Song is going to pay the ultimate price though for this as finally the Song comes out. Quinn not being able to combo up too much as a result. Back to the low ground. Gaiman gonna try to reset as the edge pop back. Still 5v5, but now those Erics are exposed. Keep in mind, Roche has not even been attempted yet. This does not fit the meta that we've been watching this entire tournament.
But this isn't the first time that Gaiman do this, though.
Yeah, Gaiman are very special.
When they played this strategy, or this archetype strategy, they bypass the Roche a lot. And I think their logic is that it takes too much time and you give up map control. Like, they don't want to corner themselves, literally, when they can just run at the enemy base and not let them play at all.
Right.
If you go there, maybe you lose a team fight and you fall behind. It's opening the door because you're inherently at a bit of a disadvantage by being the team that's in the pit. Like this, neither team has Aegis, and if you're stronger, you don't need it. So.
Okay. All right, that wasn't Enchantress no longer, though. Another Astral Imprisonment onto the center, who's stuck inside the pit, so gonna get rooted again. Brought back with the Reality Rift into another root. The Deadshot's gonna keep Quinn away, but still, damage is being applied to these barracks. Azure not showing any signs of life here. Even on the backside, he's gonna try to help out, but he's already lost his Centaur. They're now Somnus on the run. All he can do is go back to base. In fact, he might be back to death. Azureing himself again, but dies again shortly after as the GGs are called. And Gaming Gladiators completely stomp Azure in game number 1.
Radiant's middle
Gracious.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said this reminds you of the series Gaiman had against Nouns. I feel like Nouns fell into the exact same trap, kind of adjusted their draft in the exact, or came in with a similar kind of strategy. The heroes were different, but the pacing was the same. And yeah, this is kind of just a repeat. You give Gaming Gladiators the push strat, you don't counter it. What did you expect? It's